Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, we are going to cover the current affairs. For mobile optimized ebooks, please install GKToday Academy app, and there you can get the current affairs in quiz format as well as in the easy digest format. For regular updates, please join our Telegram channel. This is the name of Telegram channel, GKToday YouTube, and you can search it through this username also. Now, let's start. So the first question is, UV disinfection tower named UV Blaster has been developed in India by which state-owned organization? So, a laboratory of DRDO developed this UV Blaster, and the name of this laboratory is Laser Science and Technology Center. It is in New Delhi and it is laboratory of DRDO. So, this has developed a disinfection tower named UV Blaster. Now, this equipment can be used for the disinfection of surfaces like electronic equipment, computers, and other gadgets. Usually, these equipments cannot be disinfected with the traditional chemical methods. And it is important to note that this UV Blaster can disinfect large places where there is huge public gathering, for example, in malls and in hotels. Now, DRDO is under MOD, that is Ministry of Defense, and recently DRDO was in news as it developed COVSEC, and it is a kiosk for the COVID-19 sample collection. Next question is, India SME Services Platform is a digital initiative of which financial institution of India? So, it is an initiative of SIDBI. What is SIDBI? It is Small Industries Development Bank of India, and it is a Lucknow-based entity, and recently it announced that it is going to launch a digital platform. And what is the name of this platform? The name is India SME Services Platform. So this platform will provide information to MSME about the various schemes as well as how MSME can get financial and credit support. This will also inform MSME about the various initiatives taken by the government for MSME sector in the context of coronavirus. SIDBI stands for Small Industries Development Bank of India. Next question is, leading journalism and research organization Pointer Institute's International Fact-Checking Network, that is IFCN, launched its chatbot on which social media handle? So this chatbot was launched on WhatsApp, and this IFCN reviews the fact-checking organization based on its code of ethics. So there are various fact-checking organizations in different countries, and this IFCN reviews those fact-checking organizations. And recently, a chatbot related to this was launched on WhatsApp. Now, this chatbot connects the people with the professional fact-checkers in more than 70 countries. So, this will help in curbing the menace of fake news. Now, for fake news, that means to prevent the spread of fake news, recently TikTok announced a campaign, and the name of this campaign is Mat Kar Forward. That means you should not forward it. You should not forward the fake news. Next question is, Dar Yasin, Mukhtar Khan and Channi Anand, the photographers at Associated Press, were recently in news for receiving which award? So these three personalities were in news in the context of Pulitzer Prize for Photography, and they have won this Pulitzer Prize for feature photography, and it is a prestigious award in the field of journalism in US. Now these personalities were selected for their photography of protest, curfew and clashes in Kashmir, and this is the 54th Pulitzer Prize for Associated Press. Next question is, what is the theme of Online Contact Group Summit of NAM, that is Non-Aligned Movement, which held in May 2020? So the theme was United Against COVID-19, and recently this event was organized, and Prime Minister Mr. Modi participated in this event from Indian side, and this event was hosted by the current chairperson of NAM, and Azerbaijan is the current chair of NAM, and the president of Azerbaijan hosted this NAM summit, and the theme was United Against COVID-19. The event, that means this NAM summit, also commemorated the International Day of Multilateralism and Diplomacy for Peace, and it is celebrated on 24th of April. So this day was also commemorated. Next question is, Nagma Ke Sangharsh Se, a program that was in news recently, is associated with which field? So this program is associated to art and culture, and recently the National Gallery of Modern Art organized this virtual program to showcase its artwork. And this program is based on various themes. And the theme of this week was Artist by Artist. And it was dedicated to Rabindranath Tagore. It is important to note that on 7th of May, it is the 159th birth anniversary of Rabindranath Tagore. So the Snagma Ke Sangharsh Se is a program associated with art and culture. Next question is Birsa Harit Gram Yojana, Nilambar Pitambar Jal Samriddhi Yojana and Photo Ho Khel Vikas Yojana. These three schemes were in news recently. Now these schemes are associated to with state of India. So these are the schemes of Jharkhand government. Actually, due to this lockdown, lot of migrant workers and lot of laborers became unemployed. Therefore, to provide a boost to the rural economy and to provide employment, the state government of Jharkhand decided to launch these schemes. The first scheme is related to afforestation. So, as per this scheme, trees will be planted on the government land. The second scheme is related to creating an infrastructure for water storage. And third scheme is related to development of sports grounds. It is important to note that the work for these three initiatives will be completed by providing employment through Manrega, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. Now Jharkhand was also in as recently, for the first time in history, not even a single animal was killed during this Bishnu Sendra Parva. So it is a festival of animal hunting and it is celebrated by the tribes of Jharkhand, Odisha and West Bengal. And for the first time in history, not even a single animal was killed during this festival. Jharkhand was also in news as recently Indian Railways launched special Shramik trains to bring back the stranded laborers and students back to their home states. And therefore, Jharkhand became the first state to bring its migrant laborers back home through the first train that operated between Telangana to Ranchi in Jharkhand. Next question is, which steel company has withdrawn its membership from the apex steel industry body, Indian Steel Association? So recently, Tata Steel announced its withdrawal from the Indian Steel Association. The president of Indian Steel Association was the CEO and MD of Tata Steel, and he is T.V. Narendran. So he was the president of ISA. Now he also stepped down from this position of president of ISA. Now in the context of steel, recently Mission Purvodaya was in news, and this is an initiative to make Odisha a steel hub. And for this initiative, India and Japan decided to collaborate. Japan was also in news as Tokyo Summer Olympic Games were postponed recently, and recently Canada announced its withdrawal from the Tokyo Summer Olympic Games. Now there is one more ISA. It is International Solar Alliance. So it is an initiative started by India, and the headquarters of ISA is in Gurugram in Haryana. And recently India also initiated CDRI. Answer in comment box, what is CDRI? Next question is, the 2021 Commonwealth Youth Games, which has been rescheduled to 2023, was previously planned to be held in which country? Right answer is Trinidad and Tobago. Actually, due to COVID-19 crisis, the games has been postponed to 2023. Now, it was announced that for 2023, Trinidad and Tobago will be given the first preference to host Commonwealth Youth Games. So now, these games have been postponed to 2023. On the other hand, Commonwealth Games are going to be in 2022 in Birmingham in UK. However, two events of these Commonwealth Games will be organized in India, and these two events are archery and shooting. So these two events will be organized in India in Chandigarh. And recently Chandigarh was in news as Chandigarh launched an app named CHD COVID. So this Chandigarh COVID app was launched to provide information about COVID-19. So this 2022 Commonwealth Games are going to be in Birmingham. Now there was one more Birmingham that is in USA, and that Birmingham is the host of World Games. Next question is, which country has successfully isolated the monoclonal neutralizing antibody, which is considered as an important step in the treatment of COVID-19? So recently IIBR, that is Israel Institute for Biological Research claimed that it has isolated the monoclonal neutralizing antibody, and this was announced by the Defense Minister of Israel. Now, this is the first instance where monoclonal antibody is isolated. In most of the cases so far, the scientists have isolated polygonal antibodies. Now, what is antibody? Antibodies are also known as immunoglobulins, and they are secreted by B cells and they neutralize the antigen. So bacteria and virus are antigen, and these antibody secreted by B cells kill these antigens. Next question is, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has been awarded a commemorative World War II medal by which country? So recently Russia awarded Kim Jong-un a commemorative World War II medal marking the 75th anniversary of the victory over Nazi Germany. So this award was given to Kim Jong-un to recognize the role of North Korea in preserving the memory of Soviet soldiers who died in the territory of North Korea. Now, Russia was also in news as recently BRICS summit was organized virtually, and in this summit, Indian Minister of External Affairs Mr. S. Jaishankar participated, and Russia was the chair of this BRICS summit. Next question is, according to the Lost at Home report published by UNICEF, which country constituted the highest number of new internal displacement in the world in 2019? So, this is a report by UNICEF, and as per this report, India constituted the highest number of internal displacement in the world, and the title of this report is Lost at Home. So, India is followed by Philippines, Bangladesh, and China, and as per this report, more than 5 million people faced internal displacement in our country. Now answer in comment box who published World Migration Report. Next question is, which day is observed on the first Tuesday of May across the world that is organized by an initiative named GINA? So it is World Asthma Day, and this was organized by GINA. What is GINA? It is Global Initiative for Asthma, and the theme for this year was Enough Asthma Deaths. So this was organized on 5th of May. Now 5th of May was also celebrated as World Hand Hygiene Day. 1st of May was International Labour Day. 2nd of May was celebrated as World Tuna Day. Tuna is a fish. And 3rd of May was celebrated as World Press Freedom Day. Now answer in comment box what is India's rank as per the latest Press Freedom Report. Next question is, which country is set to launch a remote sensing satellite named Arctica M to monitor the Arctic climate and environment? So, Russia is going to launch this satellite to monitor the Arctic climate, and the name of satellite is Arctica M. Now, Russia was also in news as recently Mikhail Mishustin was appointed as the Prime Minister of Russia. Mikhail Mishustin was also in news as recently he was tested positive for COVID-19. Russia was also in news as recently WADA banned Russia for 4 years. WADA is World Anti-Doping Agency, and the headquarters of WADA is in Canada. Recently, WADA also banned Indian discus thrower Sandeep Kumari for 4 years. Apart from her, recently Jhuma Khatun was banned for 4 years, and she is Indian middle distance runner. Next question is, the RBI has cancelled the license of CKP Cooperative Bank. Where is the headquarters of this bank? So it is in Mumbai, and recently RBI cancelled its license. So these were the most important questions. Now we are going to cover important news. So first news is related to Feluda. Feluda is a made in India paper-based strip for mass testing of COVID-19, and it is paper-based strip, and recently it was in news as a lab of CSIR has partnered with Tata Sons for the licensing of the know-how of Feluda in order to execute rapid diagnosis of COVID-19. Next news is related to Operation Samudra Setu. So this operation is by Indian Navy to bring back Indian citizens who are stranded overseas in this COVID-19 crisis situation. Next news is related to ART-RAC. What is ART-RAC? It is Army Training Command, and recently Lieutenant General Raj Shukla took charge of Army Training Command. Next news is related to Exit app. So this app was launched by West Bengal government for the people who are stuck in this lockdown situation and who are willing to go back to their home place. Now, next news is related to appointment. So recently, Max Bopa appointed Krishnan Ramachandran as new MD and CEO. Apart from him, recently Suresh A. Reddy was appointed as India's new ambassador to Brazil. The president of Brazil is Jair Bolsonaro and he was the chief guest of this year's Republic Day ceremony. Next news is related to MOCA, that is Ministry of Civil Aviation, and DGCA, that is Directorate General of Civil Aviation, launched Garud portal. Garud stands for Government Authorization for Relief Using Drones. Actually, in order to fly a drone, you need a permission. Now, the government authorities are using drones to monitor the situation in this COVID-19 crisis. Therefore, to provide fast-track approval to the government authorities so that they can use drones, this portal has been launched. Next news is related to Global Response International Pledging Conference. So, this conference was organized virtually and it was an online summit. This was initiated by European Union and the main aim of this conference was to raise funds for the research of COVID-19 for the development of a vaccine. Now, it is important to note that USA and Russia did not participate in this conference, while China was represented by its ambassador. Next news is related to CCMB. What is CCMB? It is Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology, and it is the only center in India to conduct pool testing. Now answer in comment box, this CCMB operates under which organization? So CCMB stands for Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology. Next news is related to Nigah, and it is a program started by Himachal Pradesh government to educate the family members who are coming from other parts of the country. So this program intends to make them aware about social distancing and about other precautions that are necessary to avoid any kind of transmission of COVID-19. Next news is related to Surakshit Dada Dadi and Nana Nani. So this is a campaign started by Niti Aayog in association with Piramal Foundation to protect the senior citizens during COVID-19. Next news is related to Uttar Pradesh government. So recently, Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh launched Ayush Kavach COVID app. So this app will help people to get health remedies which can be useful in fight against COVID-19, and this app has been developed by Ayush Ministry. Next news is related to Iran, as recently Iran passed a bill, that means Iranian parliament passed a bill to change the currency of country. So the new currency is going to be Toman. Previous one was Rial, and 1 Toman is equal to 10,000 Rials. Next news is related to China, and China recently launched Long March 5B. So this is a rocket launched by China, and this is considered as a step to operate a permanent space station by China. That means China is working towards its own space station. Right now we have ISS, that is International Space Station. Answer in comment box. It is a joint venture of how many countries? Next news is related to DST, that is Department of Science and Technology, and recently on the occasion of its 50th Foundation Day, a webinar was organized, and the title of this webinar was Fighting Corona, Leveraging Scientific Research and Innovation. So these were the most important news. Now homework for you people. So first is, what is silent hypoxia, and second one is that what is the difference between currency devaluation and depreciation. So that was all for this session. Thank you, and that's all for the day.